That's a genius name. I mean, your last name is Duty. Duty's Daggers makes perfect sense.
All right, Folkarinos, welcome back to Duty's Daggers. I'm Kevin Duty. We got a review today of the infamous Riot exoskeleton gravity knife. Um, this kind of really excited the knife world when it came out. It was the first, high quality gravity knife that was in production possibly ever. I'm sure there's other ones, but this was really kind of the first good one that ever existed, as far as like a high quality gravity knife, as far as I know. So we're gonna review it. We're gonna talk about it, measure it, all that kind of good stuff. First of all, if you haven't subscribed, consider doing so. We have fun on the channel. There's memberships, there's perks, there's lives that we do. We have fun. There's green screens, all kinds of fun stuff. So go ahead and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at duties_daggers also. So I had, this knife came out a while ago. I'm not sure exactly when. I think possibly late last year, early this year. I can't really remember, to be honest with you. But ever since it first came out, I always wanted one. It's just cool. Who would who wouldn't want one of these? I mean, literally, who wouldn't want one of these? It's just cool. It's a really cool knife. It's one of a kind. Um, there's nothing else like it. Let's measure this thing. It's a big knife. Blade length is 3 and 5/8 about. Overall length might be bigger than my ruler. Yeah. Looks like around 8.5 inches overall. And then closed, we've got almost exactly 5 inches. And then since it's kind of a box shape, we can measure the width. It's around 1 inch, 1 and 1/8 inch. Right around 1 inch down there, and then about 7/8 of an inch down there. We could do thickness too. Looks like almost exactly a 1/2 inch. So, it's a big knife, for sure. Um, let's go over the general construction of this thing first. It is all titanium except for this micarta inlay, which they did a great job on. It darkened up really fast. Oops. When I first took it out of the packaging, it was a little bit of a lighter green, and then after about a day of handling it, it darkened up to as you see it now. Doesn't bother me though. That's just some. It's kind of weird. Some micarta seems to darken quickly, while others seems to kind of maintain its original shade for much longer. Not sure exactly why that happens, but either way, it's fine with me. We got a couple lines milled into the micarta there. Um, you know, Whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I could take it or leave it, really. It's held in by a couple T8 screws there. So it's not glued in. It's not going to come out. I'm not going to lift up. There's a lot of really impressive machining going on all this titanium. Um, I mean, when I first got it, I just kind of turned it over and looked at it for a pretty long time. And it's really impressive. Not only just the machining in general, but the fact that it's only $280 is pretty surprising. You know, so just a quick overview of Riot, who's the maker and designer of this knife. Riot has their own in-house designs, which this is one of them, but they also make knives for U.S. designers and some overseas designers as well. Um, but there are a lot of U.S. designers that choose to have their knives made overseas. Um, and Riot is honestly the best option for overseas manufacturing. I think almost everyone will agree with me on that one. They do the absolute best work of any manufacturer overseas. Absolutely. Brands like Chavez use them to make their knives. This is the Chavez Scapegoat. a wonderfully built knife. Just the quality is you can feel it as soon as you put this knife in your hand. You can feel the quality. Knives like the Sharp by Design Apex. This was built by Riot as well. Insane quality. The designer is providing them the very accurate files, CAD files, to build these knives. So Riot is building it to their exact specifications. But there's a lot of little details that is on Riot to come through on. The finish of everything. Keeping their tolerances correct, and as the designer wants them to be. They just do an incredible job. Like I said, best overseas manufacturer of knives out there, period. Those two knives that I just showed you, the first one, the Chavez, that was around $325, and then the Apex was around $375. So the fact that this one is only $280 is crazy. It's honestly, I don't understand. Because it's full titanium. And if you look at this piece right here, which basically serves as part of the handle and the locking mechanism of the knife, it's an integral piece. If you've ever seen an integral knife, it's basically both scales and the backspace are all one piece. It's basically like a taco. And those are usually a lot more expensive just because of the amount of time and machining that it takes to get this piece. This is basically an integral part of a knife right here. It's a taco shape. This is all one piece. This side, this whole back spacer, and this side. So there's that too going into it, making it, you would think, much more expensive, but still, only $280. It's just impressive. It really is. So, full titanium construction. We have a 3V, CPM 3V blade. There's a couple different blade shapes. This is I would call it a bayonet grind. It's a double-edged bayonet grind, meaning both edges are very, very sharp. The bevels are stone-washed, really nice stone washing. And the flat here is a satin. This knife is very illegal for me to carry. Not only are gravity knives illegal, but double-edged knives are illegal as well. So definitely this is the most illegal knife in my collection. Not something I would really carry around, not only for legality reasons, but it's just not really practical as an EDC knife. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. So we have a pivot back here, opposite to where it is on most knives, and it allows this piece to lift up and down freely. There's no resistance. It flops like that. You pull that back, and then there's a tab on either side of the blade here, right on the tang. It's screwed in on this side. You can see the screws, and it's attached to the blade. That is what is making contact with the track in here. So the actual edges of the blade, or any part of the blade, never touches the sides of the opening here. It can't because, it's wedged in there with these tabs. So, you might think, oh, it's rubbing, but no, it can't rub anywhere because these tabs are keeping it right in its same position as it slides. So in the closed position, there's this little cutout on this handle lock bar part of the knife that closes around that tab, keeping the knife in the closed position. Now when you open it, you move this out of the way, the tab can move up and it slides open. You close this part of the handle closes around the tab, keeping it in the open position. So when you're squeezing the knife, holding it, this cannot separate, the knife cannot retract. So it is pretty darn safe if you grip it even lightly. There's no way the blade is shutting. There's no way. It can't. So it's pretty safe in that regard. Um, I still probably wouldn't hand this knife to a very inexperienced person without at least giving them an overview of how it works first. Um, I can see ways where you could potentially cut yourself. For me, I've been messing around with this for a few days, and I haven't cut myself yet. I've even been flipping it around and stuff too, and I still haven't cut myself. So I think it's actually pretty safe. Um, I really like this cross-hatched jimping up here. Hits right where your thumb is, and then on the bottom side we have some wider jimping that hits your pointer finger and your pinky right down here. It's a very ergonomic handle. It's just kind of a rectangle. No hot spots at all. There's no pocket clip on the knife to get in their way. Even if there was a pocket clip on here, I don't think this is this is not safe to carry in your pocket. Even if you could. It comes with a very good quality leather slip though, which is a lot better than the Kydex one that it used to come with. When it was first released, it came with a Kydex sheath where it would snap into the Kydex, but it was only like this deep. So this much of the knife was sticking out of the Kydex, and it had a belt clip. And I don't know who was carrying it on their belt like this, but I absolutely would never do that. So I'm happy that they started doing the slip instead. This is a much better idea. It does have a belt loop. So you can do that if you want, but I would just slip this right in my pocket. It keeps that latch shut, so there's no way the knife can open while it's in here. You'd have to pull it out and separate this for it to deploy. It's really fun to mess around with. Really, really fun. The sounds it makes are amazing. Just the overall aesthetic of it, it's clicky, it's clacky. There's so many fun things you can do with it. You can hold it upside down, open it that way. You can open it and then kind of jam it back in that way. You can kind of open it and then pop it out front like this and then tilt it up to close it. You can pop it out, flip it around. There's just so many ways you can mess around with this thing and open and close it. Really fun. Not practical at all. Like I said, this is not a great EDC knife. But that being said, it is a very tough blade steel, 3V. This can absolutely be used as a work knife. They put very nice edge bevels on here. They're really sharp. It gets pretty darn thin at the edge. It makes me think of a Microtech in the way that it's a thinner blade and it's a very steep flat grind down to the edge where it gets pretty darn thin. So this thing would be a great work knife. It really would. Just as far as while it's open, working with it, deploying it, not the best, but you definitely could. I wouldn't. I would not carry this thing at work. No way. It's just not that practical. This is more of a novelty knife. It's more of a collector's piece, something to have in your collection and break out to show family or friends, or just by yourself, just to mess around with. That's really where I get the joy out of this, out of owning this, is just looking at it, holding it, thinking about how cool it is that I have it. I'm sure almost all of you guys would be the same way. It's just a cool object. It is a very cool object. I forgot to mention, it does have the logo in here on the inside. It says Exoskeleton Design. It's got a serial number and the date, which is cool. I like to see that, Microtech does that. A couple other makers do it. Just kind of adds legitimacy to the knife, makes it feel more official. yeah, it's the Riot Exo. What else can you really say about it? It's a gravity knife that's very fun, not very practical, but is just badass. It really is just badass. I think it's a great price for 280 bucks. Insane value. The different blade shapes are this double-sided, what did I call it? Bayonet grind. They have a Tonto, and then they have a regular drop point or clip point, I believe. Yeah, that's it, man. Did we do... Oh, we need to do size comparisons. Let's do that really quick. The Benchmade Griptilian. It's going to be longer than that. Spyderco PM2. I believe it's going to be, yep, longer than that one as well. And then let's see. How about some little guys? The Kaiser Lieb. Why not? And the Civivi Baby Banter. That could almost fit inside the handle alone. Yeah, it's a big knife. Definitely a big knife. So, that's about it. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this. If I could afford it, I would absolutely keep it. But when I bought it, I really couldn't afford to buy it. If I'm being 100% honest with myself and with you. I saw that it became available, and I know that they don't drop all that often, so it's pretty rare, hard to get, and I had to buy it. But I couldn't really afford it, so I bought it with the intention of checking it out and then possibly selling it once I could enjoy it for a little bit, just because I can't afford it. If I could afford it, this is just a badass knife to have in the collection, I mean, it's so cool. So we'll see. I'm going to try to make it without selling it. I might try to sell a few other knives so that I can keep this one. But I'm at a point where some knives need to go. You guys have all been there. So we'll see. If I do sell it, it's not because I don't like it. I absolutely love it. In fact, just got to balance your finances. That's all it is. So, thanks for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed. I got links down below to some knives. Go check it out. Discount codes down there as well. And consider becoming a channel member. There's different tiers. The lowest tier, around $3 a month, gets you access to a members-only video. 1 per week will be released for only you guys. Just recorded the first one yesterday, and the channel members seem to really enjoy it so far. So, yeah, consider doing it. It would really help out the channel, and you get something out of it too. So, and if you don't want to, can't afford to, I just really appreciate that you're watching the videos and liking and commenting. I really can't even ask any more than that. So I really appreciate it, you guys. Here's to 2023 being even better than this year. I'm filming this on the 1st of the year. So, yeah, let's grow the channel even more. Let's have fun. That's all I really want to do. Let's have fun, folks. All right. I love you guys. See you in the next video. Adios.